You're watching the RWL YouTube channel.
The following pro wrestling exhibition requires discretionary viewer participation.
One, two, three, four.
Gang, hope your Christmas was a great one. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee for tonight's Rwl Sn Rl, the last of 2025. I'm Wally Cardell, joined as usual by Johnny GB Bianco and of course GM Hangman Tex Lynch. And we're just 2 days away from the end-of-year Memphis Million Supercard this Monday night.
And despite Holiday Road having been packed with action and excitement, this year's Memphis Million isn't going to be out of ammunition, with 3 hours of action and a Battles Royal to close out the year, and I'm pretty psyched about it all.
Oh, guys, I gotta admit it's the last snarl of the year. I kind of feel a little bit melancholy about it all, but nonetheless, we got 2 great hours of RWL night action. Stick around, it is gonna be great. Let's have a great old time, and let's start things off right out of the gate with a Legends Division matchup. Jake the Snake Roberts, accompanied by Rockin' Robin, set to face the one-man riot squad, Dick the Bulldog Brower, accompanied by classy Freddie Blassie. And now back from Christmas vacation, let's please welcome back the golden voice of ring announcer Buck Morton.
Good evening and happy holidays, Chattanooga. Welcome to our WL Sn Rl. Our opening contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Rockin' Robin, from Stone Mountain, Georgia, weighing 243 pounds, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake's stock and trade mind games have already worked tonight, before even the opening bell. It all comes down to the burlap sack over Jake Roberts' shoulder, and while we all know what he's got in there, it's a kind of problem for the one-man riot squad, who apparently, for all his ferocity, didn't initially want to sign for this match. Possibly fearing a loss and its accompanying humiliating finish with that boa constrictor, but Bulldog Brower has apparently ordered Fear to take the back seat tonight.
Seriously, big, bad Bulldog Brower with an aversion to snakes. I would have never thought it. As crazy as Brower can be, I really wouldn't have ever expected him to have a phobia about snakes. His opponent, accompanied by the Hollywood fashion plate, classy Freddie Blassie, from Dover, Delaware, weighing 285 pounds, he is the one-man riot squad, Dick the Bulldog Brower.
He's not the first. You'll remember Andre the Giant ain't too crazy about snakes either. So like I said, Jake Roberts' psychological games are already in full effect.
Well, if Bulldog Brower is indeed afraid of snakes, he is not showing it. That bug-eyed poker face of his, accompanied by Freddie Blassie walking him down the ringside. I guess he must have Blassie there to hold his hand. Bulldog Brower, frightened of a big old snake. Well, now, how about that? Oh, that beat all. I would have never believed it either, GB.
No matter how hard Brower may fight, no matter if he has the momentum all through the match, in the back of his mind, he's gonna be thinking about that bag in Jake's corner. And I'm sure that's exactly what Jake is playing at, hoping it will be enough of a distraction to get Brower to slip up, get distracted, and make a mistake that costs him the match.
We're sure starting off tonight with an out-of-the-ordinary situation for the one-man riot squad, who rarely, if ever, shows anything remotely like fear.
I think if Brower loses, expect for him to run back up the ramp. If Jake reaches into that bag, Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Here we go. Jake the Snake Roberts gets a hold on Brower, lifts up that big old 285 pounds for a vertical suplex, takes him down to the canvas. Jake follows up with a kick. Brower rounds him up over the shoulders and slams him down to the canvas. Follows that up with a kick to the back right in front of Rockin' Robin. Jake Roberts counters with a right. Up kick to the midsection to Brower. Brower counters with a kick. Jake counters Brower again. There'll be a whole lot of countering going on here. Here's an elbow to the arm of Dick the Bulldog Brower as Freddie Blassie looks on. He felt that one. Jake Roberts with a sidewalk slam to Brower. Jake Roberts is lit up right away. There's a clubbing blow to the back of the head of the Bulldog. Slam head first into the turnbuckle, and he's going to do it 9 more times just to make sure Brower don't forget. Oh, man. Bulldog Brower collapses center ring right in the heart of the logo. Jake the Snake Roberts. Running Bulldog slams Brower's head into the mat one more time. Rockin' Robin definitely approving a rear headlock. Applied to Brower by Jake the Snake Roberts center ring. Freddie Blassie looking on a little bit concerned. Jake the Snake Roberts has got it cinched in pretty good. The referee keeping an eye on things. But Brower can't seem to extricate himself from the situation. Jake Roberts countered with a leg sweep by Brower. There's a stomp from the Bulldog to Jake. A kick to the midsection to Jake Roberts. A double ear clap to Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts counters with a right to the Bulldog. Bulldog Brower counters him. Goes, oh man, look at this. Another counter. Slaps the hand away. Another running Bulldog to Brower. And look at this. Freddie Blassie's introduced a chair into the mix. Here's a pin one. Well, this one's gotten out of hand pretty quick. I like it. Jake the Snake Roberts. Rounded up by Brower. Slammed down to the canvas again. Another beautiful over-the-shoulder kind of slam here. A back body drop to Brower from Jake Roberts. There's a kick to the back. As Jake the Snake Roberts drags Bulldog Brower towards center. Delivers a stomp to the shoulder. Jake starts going to work on the head and neck of Bulldog Brower. Twisting for all he's worth. Twisting the knot away, as it were. Jake Roberts urging him to get back up, but goes for a pin one. Yes, Jake Roberts, master of ring psychology, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. About to get into it with Jake Roberts, distracts him. Brower with a hip toss, the ref gets rid of that chair. A leg sweep from Jake the Snake Roberts, a stomp to Brower. Jake rounds him back up again, gets a hold of Brower, whips him to the corner. He charges but doesn't connect. Brower gets out of the way. There's a jumping headbutt from Dick the Bulldog Brower, taking Jake Roberts down to the canvas. Jake Roberts whipped to the far right corner. Brower charges. There's a clothesline. Down goes Jake. The momentum shifting right here to Bulldog Brower for the present time. Rear chin lock applied to Jake Roberts by the Bulldog. Jake gets a hold of the wrist, finds his way out the back door, and trips up Brower while he does. Oh, man. All right, Dragon Sleeper countered by Brower. A slap of the hand and a double axe handle to Jake that takes him down to the mat. Jake makes his way to the standing position on the outside apron. Bulldog Brower tries to tag him with a right, but Jake Roberts counters, gets back inside the ring. Jake the Snake with a kick to the gut. So Brower lines up the arm. Top wrist lock. Bulldog Brower counters with a couple of shots to the midsection. Disengages Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, fireman's carry, drops Brower center ring. Gets a hold of him from the belly to belly, but Brower tags him with a couple of shots and backs him off. Jake the Snake Roberts catches a power slam out of absolutely no place. Bulldog Brower turning things around real quick here. There's a clothesline to Jake. Jake swings and misses, rebounds off the ropes, catches a back body drop from Brower. Rounds him up and into a spine buster just about center ring. Bulldog Brower again gathers up Jake the Snake Roberts. Tongue and death grip. Rockin' Robin definitely looks alarmed. Bulldog Brower trying to squeeze a win out of Jake the Snake Roberts. Trying to choke one. Oh, he just did it. The bell rings. Jake Roberts has been choked out by Dick the Bulldog Brower, who wins this matchup by submission.
The time, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Your winner by submission, Bulldog Brower.
Well, guys, if there was just anything Dick the Bulldog Brower could do to avoid losing this match and possibly being exposed to Jake's snake, well, he certainly went ahead and did it. He nailed Jake with that tongue and death grip dead center ring, and, well, now he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Folks, we'll be right back with more RWL Sn Rl right after the break. Stay with us. Alright folks, welcome back to tonight's Snarl, the last of 2025. Do stick around for the whole 2 hours because coming up in the second half, we got 2 semi-final matches in the Television Tag Team Championship Tournament, and those are definitely going to be ones that you're definitely not going to want to miss. I'm real excited. Well, we're down to 4 final teams, and let's see who's going to wind up facing who at the end of the game. Oh man, I'm definitely excited about this one. But coming up next, it's going to be a battle of royalty. Kings versus Maharajas as Jerry the King Lawler, Memphis' own, gets set to face the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal.
Our next contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Memphis, Tennessee, weighed 245 pounds, Jerry the King Lawler. The King all on his own tonight, although his to King's partnership with Harley Race remains in force. But tonight, Jerry crosses swords with Jinder Mahal, who's looking to put his last loss to Sir Reggie Smythe in their light heavyweight title match. Behind him, and maybe to get some of the still pent-up aggression out at Lawler's expense.
The King doesn't look too worried, but then that's Lawler. He takes every situation, no matter how bad, in total stride. Should be an awesome matchup.
That is the King. Let's just sit there. You remember David Letterman. You remember Andy Kaufman. That's really all I need to say. Jerry the King Lawler. An institution in the world of professional wrestling, that is for sure. And he's definitely going to have an interesting challenge tonight, going up against the modern-day Maharaja in this one.
And his opponent from the Punjab in India weighing 234 pounds, the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
Well, yeah, it would have been about 10 days ago, Jinder Mahal locking horns with the battling Briton Sir Reggie Smythe for the light heavyweight championship, and well, Sir Reggie Smythe is still the light heavyweight champion, so that's really all you need to know. Jinder Mahal looking to pick up the pieces, looking to wrap up the year with a win possibly against Jerry the King Lawler. And he's capable of doing it. Thing is, his record is kind of 50-50, kind of split down the middle, you know what I mean?
While his win-loss record might be just slightly above average, he's still big with the fans and obviously hot enough to compete in championship matches. And Jinder could possibly catch himself another big break soon if he were to score a win over the King, something that only the best guys in the business can pull off.
Like we said, this should be a pretty interesting matchup. I like this idea. Kings versus Maharajas. I gotta admit, I gotta tip my 10-gallon of Myron Schimmelman on this one. Alright, referee Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Lawler charges, clothesline, takes down Jinder Mahal. Jinder counters with a kick, misses with the jumping neckbreaker, catches a kick from Jerry the King Lawler. Lawler misses with the overhand right. Jinder Mahal locks him up over the shoulders in a fireman's carry into a Samoan drop from the modern-day Maharaja. Mahal rounds up Lawler. There's an elbow, there's a left, there's a right. Lawler counters, finds his way around, delivers a couple of kicks to the leg of Jinder Mahal, locks him up. Jinder Mahal being escorted towards the ropes by the King. Hard right. And a top rope choke from Jerry the King Lawler. Jinder Mahal yanked down to center ring by the top rope. The King makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Here he comes, elbow drop right across the chest, and here's a pin attempt right away. 1, 2, a near fall, but not near enough. Jinder Mahal trying to get back to his feet. Jerry Lawler raking the forearm across the eyes of Jinder Mahal. Misses with the fist drop and hurts his damn hand. Jinder Mahal misses with the clothesline, locks up with the King. The King winds it up. Oh man, what an uppercut. Down goes Jinder Mahal. Mahal slammed to the canvas center ring by the King. There's a stomp to the midsection. Jerry the King Lawler deftly steps over. Jinder Mahal counters with an elbow. Locks it up with the King. Sets him up, one arm slams him down to the canvas. Oh man, okay. There's a stomp to the shoulder from Jinder Mahal, a stomp to the leg to Jerry the King Lawler. Lawler slammed to the canvas again by his head. Jinder Mahal with a blatant chokey right in front of the referee. Doesn't seem to care too much. There's a stomp to the midsection. Deftly steps over Lawler, gathers him back up to a standing position. Hard right spins the King around into the sleeper. Oh man, here we go. The ref checking things out. But Lawler counters with the jawjacker, backs off the modern day Maharaja. Lawler locks it up with Jinder again. Whip to the ropes. There's an elbow. Takes Jinder Mahal down to the mat. There's a stomp to the midsection from the King. The King raining hard lefts on the side of the head of Jinder Mahal. Mahal quickly rolls back up to a standing position. Gets knocked right back down by a clothesline. The King with a drop kick to the back of Jinder Mahal. The pace is fast in this one, huh? Hard, quick counter from Jinder Mahal, fights his way out of the corner, gets a hold of Jerry the King Lawler, whips him to the ropes, all the way up and all the way right back down, letting gravity do all the work for him. Mahal rounds him up. Kick to the gut and a DDT for the King. Lawler rolls to the outside, wants to take a little break for himself, but he ain't going to get one here. Jinder Mahal all the way up on the top turnbuckle as Lawler makes his way to a standing position. Here he comes, double axe handle right across the head of Jerry the King Lawler. Jinder Mahal quickly gets Lawler back inside the ring. Doesn't want to spend too much time on the outside, I don't think. Here we go. Center ring, nowhere for Lawler to go. And the clutch locked in by the modern day Maharaja. Bending Lawler like a damn bow. Referee checking him out, making sure he's okay. Lawler says, I'm going to stand up and just knock the wind right out of you. A pretty good basic counter from Jerry the King Lawler. Hard right spins Jinder Mahal around. He goes behind. Into the headlock punch. Down goes Jinder Mahal. Lawler flips him over. Delivers a hard kick to the back. Another set of lefts to the side of the head of Jinder Mahal. As Jerry the King Lawler starts to assert himself and starts to take control of this match. All right. Lawler rounds up Jinder. A chop across the chest, a second one. Lawler misses the grapple. Jinder Mahal gets a hold of him, whips him to the ropes. Boom! Hard elbow right to the face, and down went Jerry the King Lawler. Jinder gonna go for a pin. 1, 2. Oh, wow! Shut up! Jinder Mahal with a pretty quick win over the King.
The time, 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And your winner by pinfall, Jinder Mahal.
He must have nailed the King with that elbow absolutely perfectly to take him out for a 3 count so soon. I really expected this match to run just a little bit longer, but Jinder Mahal surprising everybody with a win over Jerry the King Lawler in just about 4:08. We'll be back with more RWL Sn Rl in just a minute. Don't you go anywhere.
Well, at Holiday Road on Christmas Eve, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff once again regained the RWL Mid-Atlantic Championship from Oxbaker, and Mr. Wonderful's back tonight in a non-title scrap with no less than the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Oh man, well that's gonna be a good one.
The following non-title contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 245 pounds, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Wow, what a match this should be. The Nature Boy and Mr. Wonderful, two of a kind locking it up in this non-title Legends Division match. Ric Flair, of course, coming in after dropping his last match to Shawn Michaels recently, and Orndorff's back at the top as Mid-Atlantic Champion, despite the best efforts of Oxbaker and the Grand Wizard of Wrestling to avoid that outcome. This one's gonna be spicy for sure, guys.
They really are very similar in style, appearance, and methods of operation. Can't wait to see which of them goes home with the win.
Yeah, but I got to give it to Ric Flair. He does have the snazzier robes. I mean, just look at that thing. Oh, Mr. Wonderful's robe is nice too, but not quite as ornate as the Nature Boy.
And his opponent from Orlando, Florida, weighing 243 pounds, the reigning RWL Mid-Atlantic Champion, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
Mr. Wonderful, the inventor and master of the beat them relentlessly until they surrender the title strategy, which seems to have worked gangbusters for him in the Mid-Atlantic Championship. He beat the living crap out of Stone Cold Steve Austin when Austin had it, and once Ox Baker got a hold of it, he started catching hell. Until Holiday Road the other night, when Mr. Wonderful picked up the Mid-Atlantic Champion for a third time. A three-time Mid-Atlantic Champion is Mr. Wonderful. And well now, this is a non-title match, and I guess Ric Flair better be grateful, because if he wound up winning that title, that means he'd have Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, chasing him all over town.
The Grand Wizard stable had a pretty tough holiday season with superstar Billy Graham and Jesse Ventura losing their bid for the Legends TV tags against Sergeant Slaughter and the Patriot. And now, Ox Baker's lost the Mid-Atlantic to Orndorff.
I don't have to be the one to tell you that Ox Baker and the Grand Wizard are as mad as can be. All right, well, here we go. Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Orndorff charges, misses the crossbody on Ric Flair. Ric Flair catches a shot to the midsection from Orndorff. A jab, a right, another left, another right. Flair in the corner. Counters with an elbow. Orndorff backs off. They collide center ring. Orndorff with a kick to the midsection on Flair. Flair whip to the far right turnbuckle. A charging clothesline from Mr. Wonderful takes him down to the mat. There's a stomp to the midsection. There's a little butt bump right to the lower back. Mr. Wonderful ascending the top turnbuckle. Here he goes there. Elbow across the back of the Nature Boy. Ric Flair. Don't look like he's doing too well right now. A stomp to the arm from Paul Orndorff. The Nature Boy catches another slam of the arm. Here we go again. Mr. Wonderful trying to calm the fans down as Nature Boy makes his way to a standing position on the outside apron. Flair counters with a hard right. Gets himself back inside the ring. They lock it up. Kick to the midsection, but Mr. Wonderful. Nate goes in for an abdominal stretch. Walt Rothburn keeping an eye on things, but no use. There's a hip toss. Orndorff finding his way out of that one pretty easy. Mr. Wonderful with a set of shots to Ric Flair. A double shot to the midsection. Locks up the Nature Boy. Has him up in the front. Oh, man. Slams him into the turnbuckle and spins him out towards center ring. Mr. Wonderful going for another quick pin. One, but no dice. Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, gathers up the Nature Boy. Locks him up. Winds it up and boom. What an uppercut. Down went the Nature Boy like a chopped down tree. Ric Flair makes his way to a standing position in the corner. Orndorff right there waiting for him. Nature Boy counters. Gets a hold on Mr. Wonderful. Has him up for the pile driver. Oh, man. Well, now, he must not have caught all of it because Mr. Wonderful just rolled right on outside the ring, took himself a little walk. Ric Flair is very, very provoked. Mr. Wonderful flips him to the far left corner. There's another charging clothesline, and down goes Ric Flair one more time. Mr. Wonderful beating the Nature Boy's head against the canvas. Man, counter kick from Ric Flair, back up on his feet, locks it up with Mr. Wonderful. Hard whip to the ropes. Oh, kitchen sink knee to the midsection. Ric Flair with a gouge to the face. Gets a hold of Mr. Wonderful by the scruff of the neck, lines him up against the ropes, and starts playing tug-of-war with his arm, using two ropes for leverage on that one. Nature Boy takes him down, winds it up into a spinning toe hold, a Texas cloverleaf, and he's softening him up for the figure four. You better believe that. Ric Flair not doing it quite as well as Mr. Wonderful. He lost his last match against Shawn Michaels. A knee breaker from Ric Flair to Mr. Wonderful. Ric Flair definitely would love to pick up this win on the Mid-Atlantic champion. Flair counters, finds his way out of the corner. Orndorff staggers. Flair whip to the corner. Fails to connect with the clothesline that time. Flair with a quick counter goes behind on Mr. Wonderful. Has him up. Oh, atomic drop. Right to the lower spine. Nature Boy drives a couple of knees into the leg of Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful and Ric Flair, basically two of a kind. They are basically the same animal in two different bodies. Ric Flair with a hard right takes Orndorff down center ring. Rounds him back up again. Orndorff counters with a quick right, gets a hold on Nature Boy. Winds it up again for another beautiful uppercut. Down goes Ric Flair. He ain't going to take too many of those. Oh, wow. Oh man, Ric Flair's all messed up. Orndorff on the outside with the Nature Boy, the referee counting. Flair driven into the barricade again. Flair counters quickly, gets back up on his feet. Mr. Wonderful gathered up to a standing position by Ric Flair, counters with a kick to the midsection. Locks it up with the Nature Boy, pitches him right into the ring steps. Oh man. Referee continuing the count as Mr. Wonderful gets a hold on the Nature Boy and hurls him to the other side of the ring on the outside. Takes himself back inside, allowing the referee to continue to count Ric Flair. Orndorff decides he's going to take a plunge. All the way up on the top turnbuckle, perched like a buzzard on a branch, waiting for Ric Flair to stand up. There's an elbow right to the top of the dome for the Nature Boy. Flair rounded up for a discus punch by Mr. Wonderful, taken down to the floor again one more time with the referee counting. As Mr. Wonderful starts to go to work on Flair, Flair counters with an elbow, backs off. Mr. Wonderful gets a hold on him. Lines it up, takes him right down to the canvas again. Oh, man, what a nasty leg snap from the Nature Boy. Ric Flair gathers him back up. Takes him up over the shoulder. Drops him head first into the barricade. Ow, man. Orndorff counters with both boots, gets back up. Nature Boy locks him up again into a headlock punch from Mr. Wonderful. Goes behind on Orndorff. Ric Flair right back with another headlock punch. Man, this one's been good. Nature Boy countered by Orndorff with an elbow to the midsection. Flair fails to connect with the running kick. Gets driven into the ring steps again. A stomp to the back from Mr. Wonderful. Orndorff with a chop, couple of chops across the chest, a kick to the side of the head, and a dragon screw to the Nature Boy. Orndorff rounds him back up one more time. Flair counters with a kick, gets a hold. Orndorff counters with a kick. Flair counters with a kick. A whole lot of countering going on here. Orndorff pitched towards the timekeeper's area this time. As Ric Flair makes his way back inside the ring, Orndorff getting back to a standing position. The referee's count still in play. Started all over again. Ric Flair just came out to come after Orndorff. Locks him up. Has him up and a backbreaker on the outside. And the referee's been doing an awful lot of counting in this match. Oh, Flair grounding the boot into the head of Mr. Wonderful. Orndorff back up to a standing position here. Locks it up with Ric Flair. Pitches him towards the barricades near the corner. Takes himself back inside the ring. Ric Flair slowly makes his way back inside. And quickly takes him to hell. Here it is. I told you this was coming. Ric Flair getting ready to lock in the figure four on Mr. Wonderful. No ropes for Orndorff to get to. He could be in some trouble. If he don't tap out, he's certainly going to get worn out pretty good. Orndorff trying to turn it around here on the Nature Boy. Finally succeeds in doing so. Gets himself out of that figure four, which is not easy to do. Orndorff locks up Nate, catches a kick to the midsection. A hard right spins him around. Orndorff counters with an elbow. Flair with a jawjacker backs off Orndorff into another headlock punch. Goes behind on Mr. Wonderful. Russian leg sweep takes him right down to the canvas. Ric Flair going for another pin. 1, 2. Oh, shut up! Ric Flair picking up an upset win over Mr. Wonderful by pinfall.
The time 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Ric Flair.
Guys, is there a full moon out tonight? Jinder Mahal pulls off a big-time win, and now Ric Flair pulling off an upset over the Mid-Atlantic champion. I don't know, must be end of the year fever or something. The Nature Boy picking himself a big-time win over Mr. Wonderful. We'll be right back with more RWL Sn Rl in just a minute.
As Snarl continues, our first title match of the night, with the RWL Ladies Southern Championship hanging in the balance, as Brenda Blair challenges Triple Crowner powerhouse Patty Powers. The following contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit, and it is for the RWL Ladies Southern Championship.
All right, you guys here in the booth and you folks out there in YouTube land, it took Brenda Blair the better part of a year to snag herself some championship gold, and she finally did it, picking up the Ladies Northern Championship from Babs Beckwith. Wound up losing it a few weeks later to Babs, but nonetheless, but now tonight, Brenda Blair comes back with an opportunity to become both the Northern and Southern Women's Champion in a span of a couple of months. That would be a pretty impressive feat if she could pull it off, but she's in there against powerhouse Patty Powers, a ladies triple counter. It is not going to be an easy thing.
The leather-clad lovely from San Jose certainly having herself a fairly good year in 2025. Besides having had that brief run with the ladies' Northern title, she just whipped on a laundry list of opponents.
But so far, she and Patty haven't banged heads all that often with this title match, being their first encounter against one another. What's your spin, Wally?
Brenda's fast, and she can brawl, but she's gonna be outsized and outweighed by the ladies' triple crowner, and that could pose a problem for Brenda's championship ambition.
Agreed. Add to the mix, Patty's got a far more solid win-loss record than Brenda. So, as far as it goes, I'm leaning towards Powers retaining the belt.
We won't entirely rule out a possible upset win by Brenda, but going solely by the numbers, she's still only got a 50-50 shot.
50-50 is definitely better than 1,000-1, Mr. Cardell, and here comes the ladies triple crowner Patty Powers, the ladies Legends champion, the women's Gulf Coast champion, and the ladies Southern champion, all rolled into one big-haired package. Patty Powers, that classic 80s throwback, and she has had herself a really good year this year, hasn't she? Oh, man. But I got to go with you guys. I don't think Brenda Blair is going to be able to pull it off. It would take a miracle.
Patty's also back doing tags again with Liberty Bell Danielle, and they're both pretty happy about it. And I'm betting they set their sights on getting back the women's world tag titles. Currently in the hands of Frankie Picone and Marta Gordon of Power and Beauty.
At least they've got a game plan and some goals going into the new year. Pretty sure they're both gonna have a great run next year, both individually and as a unit.
That's what I think too, GB. Well, Powerhouse Patty getting ready to put that ladies Southern title on the line here.
The challenger from San Jose, California, here is Brenda Blair. Her opponent accompanied by MJ Frontino from Tampa, Florida. She is an RWL Ladies Triple Crown champion and the reigning Ladies Southern champion, Powerhouse Patty Powers.
Well, Yumpin' Yiminy, guys, talk about our first exciting ladies title matchup. Look at Brenda Blair over here. The picture of confidence, both these ladies. This is gonna be a hot one. Referee Charles Lucera sounds the bell. They come center ring. Brenda Blair unloads with a set of rights, a kick to the midsection, and a DDT to Patty Powers center ring. Brenda gets a hold of Patty by the legs. Oh, man. Stomped to the lower abdomen and walked it off. Now, hard kick to the shoulder from Brenda Blair to Patty Powers. Brenda takes herself all the way up to the top far right turnbuckle. Patty Powers has not moved. Now she's slowly starting to stand up. And here she comes. Whoa, missile drop kick from Brenda Blair. Here's a quick pin. 1, 2. Nope. No dice. Patty Powers still very much full of steam here. It's too early. What is it? Oh, man, just raking her forearm across the face of Patty Powers. Follows that up with a hard shot to the noggin. Patty Powers counters with a kick, gets back up, delivers a stomp to Brenda Blair. MJ Ferrantino looking on very carefully. An elbow to the midsection from Brenda Blair. A hard right spins Patty around. She goes behind, rear waistlock. Russian leg sweep. Takes Patty down to the canvas. Patty Powers rolls to the outside. Brenda Blair over the top and crashes and burns spectacularly. Knee to the side of the head. from Powerhouse Patty Powers as referee Charles Lucero initiates the count here. Brenda slam nose first into the floor. Ow. Patty gets a hold of Brenda. Slams her head into the lip of the apron. Follows that up with a stomp. Looks like Patty Powers is already pretty provoked. Rolls back inside the ring by Brenda. Patty follows it up with a clothesline that takes Brenda down. Here's a quick pin. 1, 2. Two, says Charles Lucero, but Brenda Blair back on her feet. Patty gets a hold of her, gets the upper hand, spins her around, gets a hold of her again. Front cradle, takes a walk over across town, slams her into the turnbuckle, and just tosses her towards center. Covers, hooks the leg. 1. Man, gonna be a lot of near falls in this one. Patty with a stomp to the midsection. Powerhouse Patty Powers slams Brenda Blair's nose into the canvas again. She's going to have a different kind of nose after this is all over. Brenda Blair locks up Patty, whips her to the corner, charges. Knee to the midsection. Patty comes crashing out. Brenda Blair. Definitely, she's frosty, all right. A series of wrist clutch kicks to the wrist, followed up with a forearm from Brenda Blair to Patty Powers. Patty gathered back up again by Brenda. Brenda gets a hold on her. Whips her to the corner again. Another knee to the midsection and another crash out from Patty Powers to the outside. Oh, man. Brenda Blair firmly in control and just going buck wild out there. Patty Powers has yet to mount any real serious offense on the inside. She did pretty good on the outside, but oh man. Elbow drop across the chest. Another pin attempt from Brenda. 1, 2. What up? Patty Powers still in the game. A stomp to the shoulder from Brenda Blair. Brenda in the corner, doing a little bit of showboating here. A stomp to the midsection to Patty. Followed up with a stomp to the shoulder. Brenda Blair gathers Patty Powers back up again. Swings and misses. Patty Powers gets a hold on her. Whips her to the ropes. Brenda puts on the brakes. Delivers an elbow to the leg. They lock it up center ring. Patty Powers with a headlock punch to Brenda Blair. Goes behind on her rear waist lock. A headbutt right to the back of the noggin. And whoa, what a toss across. Oh man, she played toss across with Brenda Blair. Wow. Patty Powers catches a dragon screw from Brenda. Brenda Blair stalking Patty here, has a clubbing right over the head. Patty Powers rounded up by Brenda Blair again. A wrist clutch kick to the face, and down goes Patty. And another wrist clutch knee to the head from Brenda Blair. Patty Powers is laid out center ring. Brenda rounds her up again. A kick to the midsection. Gets a hold on her, has her up for a power bomb. Oh no, turned it into like a neck breaker, like an RKO. Here's a quick pin again. 1, 2. MJ Florentino talking to the people in the front row. Brenda Blair doing a lot of little bit of showing off here. But she is in control of Patty at this point in the match. Patty counters with a knee to the midsection, misses at the clothesline. Brenda Blair gets a hold on her, whips her to the rope. Another rising knee to the head of Patty Powers from Brenda Blair. Brenda takes herself all the way up to the middle rope, drives a knee into the midsection of Patty Powers. Rolls her over, goes for the cover and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. I don't believe it. Shut up. Brenda Blair is the new Ladies Southern Champion.
The time, exactly 5 minutes. Your winner by pinfall and the new Ladies Southern Champion, Brenda Blair. I'm speechless. Straight speechless, you guys. Literally. Somebody else say something, cause I got no words right now.
Brenda Blair kicks it into a previously unfound gear, and in just 5 minutes, she's held the Ladies Northern and now the Ladies Southern title as well. She'd be the first ever to have held both, and that's pretty unprecedented.
And we'll be right back.
As Tex said earlier, the tag team tournament semifinals will be during the second half. But right now, we wrap up the first half with a non-tournament tag match. Setting Greg Valentine and Larry Zbyszko against Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. The following contest is Introducing first, at a combined weight of 495 pounds, from Seattle, Washington, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Larry Zbyszko. Seem like old times, now that Valentine and Zbyszko's tag team muscle memory came back. They may have gotten wiped out in the TV tag tourney, but they're back in action anyway, tonight against Dusty and Magnum. Ironically, former Legends TV tag champs.
It may not be a tournament match, but this is gonna be a good one. Wondering how Zbyszko and Valentine will do while they're still getting their groove back.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of 552 pounds, Magnum Tn and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Now here's a couple of gents who haven't slowed down at all in years, and as former TV tag champions, you gotta expect they're gonna be a lot more synchronized than Valentine and Zbyszko, don't you think?
Oh, Wally, that's a let's wait and see kind of thing. They're still putting it all back together between themselves. But if they ever fully regain the rhythm and flow they had a few years ago while competing regularly, they're gonna be a force to reckon with.
All right, it'll be Mr. Living Legend and the American Dream starting things off here as Willie Johnson rings the bell and off we go. They lock it up center ring. Dusty goes behind on Zbyszko, slams him down to the canvas, belly to back. Zbyszko hurled to the center by the American Dream. A jawjacker from Larry Zbyszko. A forearm takes Dusty Rhodes down to the canvas. Dusty gets a hold of Zbyszko by the trunks, has him up for a nice vertical suplex, a nice long one. Dusty Rhodes rounds up Zbyszko. Zbyszko counters with a forearm. Dusty counters. Zbyszko counters. Slams Dusty down to the canvas. Into a single leg grab. But Dusty turning it around pretty quick, gets himself out of the hole. Misses with the kick. Whoa, what a kick. That would have hurt if he connected. Dusty whip to the opposing team's corner. Dusty counters, finds his way out, gets the hold of Larry Zbyszko. Counter whips him to his team's corner. Oh, we're going to see this all day? Oh, man. Larry Zbyszko counters, knocks down the referee. And we've got our first casualty of the evening. Larry Zbyszko countered by Dusty Rhodes. And counter whip to the opposing team's corner. Larry Zbyszko. No, he's not going to get out of this one. Magnum TA comes in. There's a kick to the midsection from Magnum as he takes over for his team. Zbyszko counters Magnum. Counter whips him into the opposing team's corner. And here comes Greg Valentine, so we won't have to do this one all day. Air-assisted crossbody from the Hammer. As he rounds up Magnum. Magnum winds up the arm, follows it up with a shoulder tackle, takes him down. Greg Valentine counters with a shoulder tackle of his own. Takes Magnum down. Magnum counters with a back body drop. Into a head scissor. Valentine counters, finds his way out. Greg the Hammer Valentine has him up for a knee breaker. Down goes Magnum TA. Valentine rounds him back up again. Counter kick to the midsection from Magnum TA. Forearm right to the face of Greg Valentine. There's a little snap mirror. Valentine counters with an elbow. Gets himself back up to a standing position. Gets a hold on Magnum. Whips him into the corner. Gets a hold on him. He's going to insist that he stays. Pitches him up against the ropes. Magnum whipped to the ropes. A collision with no result. Back into the Dragon Sleeper for Greg Valentine. Shoves Magnum away. Magnum gets a hold on him. Whips him to his team's corner. Greg Valentine being invited to stay rather firmly. He rather firmly declines the invitation. Counter whips Magnum TA into the referee again. And somebody have to change the days since sign. Oh, man. Magnum TA gets a hold of Greg Valentine. There's a snap mirror. A kick to the back. See, Willie Johnson's going to quit and go home one of these days. Dusty Rhodes comes in on the tag. Rounds up Greg Valentine. Valentine winds up the arm on the Dream and snaps it. Gets a hold on him. Clubbing blow to the chest. Greg Valentine Countered by Dusty Rhodes. There's another forearm from the American Dream. Up over the shoulders goes Greg Valentine. And an airplane spin. That's a classic move. Well, all four of these guys are definitely old school, old guard guys. You're not going to see a lot of fancy flippy-do stuff with these guys. Valentine whipped back to the opposing team's corner. Counter kicks, escapes. Dusty Rhodes counters with an elbow. Valentine counters, whips Dusty to his team's corner. Dusty counters and escapes the corner. Counter whips Greg Valentine to his team's corner. And feel free to change the channel at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Valentine slammed down to the canvas. Dusty. Oh, damn, what a shot to the head. Forget I said that. I'll take that back. A series of jabs from Dusty Rhodes. A series of left jabs. A little fancy work. And, ooh, double shot to the midsection of Greg Valentine. A kick to the leg from Dusty Rhodes. Dusty rounds him up. The Dream sets up the pile driver. Ooh, a nasty one. Valentine looking for a way out of town. He ain't going to get one. He counters with an elbow to Dusty Rhodes. A clothesline takes Dusty down to the mat. Greg Valentine gouging the face of the American Dream. He counters with a shot to the midsection. Gets a hold of Valentine. Whips him over the top rope out onto the apron. And brings him back in via vertical suplex. Oh, man. Yeah, you weren't kidding, Wally. This one's going to be a ride. Huh. Greg Valentine stunned, but quickly counters Dusty Rhodes. Gets a hold on him. Oh, drives a knee into the midsection. Drags the Dream towards center, follows it up with a stomp to the gut. Greg Valentine keeping Dusty center ring. There's an elbow right to the back of the head. Greg the Hammer Valentine countered by Dusty Rhodes. There's a shoulder tackle that takes Valentine down the mat. Dusty Rhodes follows that up with a couple of stomps. And with the bionic elbow, well, that could be a problem right here. We could see a very near fall or the end of this match here. One. Nope. Larry Zbyszko right there to make sure this match stays a while. Oh, Dusty Rhodes tried to take a swing at Zbyszko, but missed it. Well, Larry Zbyszko interrupting Dusty Rhodes' plans. Oh, man, right down into the ring he went. Larry Zbyszko perhaps avoiding disaster for Greg Valentine as Dusty is whipped to the opposing team's corner. There is a clothesline that he could not duck. Valentine covers, hooks the leg. The Magnum TA right there to break it up. Magnum counters Valentine with a knee. Valentine goes behind on him. Over the back suplex. The Magnum TA as he rolls him out. Dusty Rhodes with an arm drag on Greg Valentine. A couple of good stomps to the lower back. A charge and a shoulder tackle takes Valentine down, and he is busted open pretty good, I gotta tell you. Valentine whipped to the far right corner, counters with an elbow. Oh man, he is a mess. Greg Valentine gets a hold on Dusty Rhodes, slams his head into his team's turnbuckle. Dusty counters and escapes the corner. Counter whips Valentine to his team's corner. Valentine counters and escapes the corner. Dusty counters with an elbow. A double chop keeps Valentine in the corner, and Dusty hurls him out towards center ring. Up on the middle rope. And here we go. Oof, fist dropped off the middle rope. Magnum TA still out to lunch on the outside. Greg Valentine still trying to find a way out to tag Zbyszko, which might not be a bad idea at this point. A driving knee into the back from Dusty Rhodes to Greg Valentine. Valentine quickly takes him down. I think he's had just about enough. Finally, Larry Zbyszko comes in on the tag, about to get him some action. Arm drag from Dusty Rhodes. Zbyszko whips Dusty to the right corner. Here's a clothesline, takes Dusty Rhodes down to the mat. Zbyszko, yeah, he's hot. Here's a tag to Magnum TA. Fresh partners all the way around. Zbyszko counters Magnum, delivers a forearm, takes him down to the mat. Larry Zbyszko gouging the face of Magnum TA. He goes behind. Magnum counters with a couple of elbows and backs him off. A quick jab from Zbyszko. Magnum whipped to the corner, but quickly sidesteps his way out of danger. And into a top wrist lock on Zbyszko. Zbyszko counters with a couple of shots to the ribs. Larry Zbyszko with a kick to the gut. Ooh, wow, that was nice. Zbyszko covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2. As near to a near fall as we've had so far in this one. Larry Zbyszko with an elbow to the top of the head of Magnum TA. And Greg Valentine's barely hanging on by a thread over there in his corner. Zbyszko's going to have to put in some serious work. Magnum whips him to the corner. Zbyszko sidesteps him. Has him up over the shoulder. Magnum counters into a DDT. Zbyszko is down. Magnum moves in, delivers a stomp to the back. Goes to work on a downed Larry Zbyszko. He might have to spend a little time in there. Give Greg Valentine some time to recover. Another DDT to Zbyszko from Magnum TA. As this match approaches the halfway mark, Zbyszko back to a standing position, whips Magnum over the top rope, out onto the apron, and brings him back in. Over the top rope. Magnum catches a couple of stomps from Zbyszko and a little bit of chokey from the living legend. The self-professed living legend, I might add. Magnum. I'm telling you, Willie Johnson can quit this job. It is boot party time for Magnum TA. As Greg Valentine and Larry Zbyszko start trading off spots here. Freakman tags as they all take turns putting the boots to Magnum TA. And here comes the big finish. The hard whip, the drop kick to Magnum as he rolls out towards center. Valentine covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Again, another near fall. But at the present time, the momentum seems to be falling towards Valentine and Zbyszko, which I guess for them ain't bad. I'm sure Bobby Heenan's happy. A knee right to the head of Greg Valentine from Magnum TA. Magnum gathers him back up. Valentine counters with a pretty hard right. Magnum whips to the opposing team's corner. He counters, he kicks, he finds his way out, gets a hold on Greg Valentine, whips him to the ropes, almost into the referee yet again. And I'll go to the face of Valentine from Magnum up over the shoulder into the fireman's carry. Michinoku driver. And here's a pin attempt. Larry Zbyszko just a foot away to break it up. But Valentine is in pretty bad shape right now, so is Magnum TA for that matter. The referee waiting for somebody to get something done here. Magnum makes the hot tag to the American Dream. Valentine, he's not going to make it. Back up to a standing position, gets Dusty into a dragon sleeper. Dusty slams him face first into the mat. The American Dream with an inverted atomic drop to Valentine, putting him in his corner. A blind tag to Larry Zbyszko. A forearm from Dusty Rhodes. Valentine counters. Dusty counters. Zbyszko counters. It is 2 against 1 in there for the American Dream right now. There's a forearm. But from Dusty Rhodes to Zbyszko. Zbyszko sidesteps him, delivers a set of kicks to the leg. Dusty counters with an elbow. Zbyszko counters with a straight fist. And tries for the belly-to-belly, but doesn't get it. Dusty Rhodes counters him. Zbyszko tags him with a shot to the back of the head. A snap suplex from Larry Zbyszko. Yeah, that was a pretty heated exchange right there. Man, Greg Valentine's just hanging on by a thread here. Dusty Rhodes catches a stomp to the gut. Zbyszko dodges him. Another forearm. Zbyszko's going wild in there. Dusty swings and misses, rebounds off the ropes. Larry Zbyszko catches him into a spine buster. Whoa. Okay. Dusty Rhodes scrambling into the corner. Quickly sidesteps. Zbyszko gets out of the way. Counter with Zbyszko to his team's corner. Zbyszko counters and escapes the corner. Gets a hold of Dusty Rhodes and counter whips him to his team's corner. Dusty counters and escapes the corner. Larry Zbyszko whipped to the opposing team's corner. Starting to sound like a damn broken record. Zbyszko whips Dusty to the opposing team's corner. Dusty Rhodes counters and escapes the corner yet again. Zbyszko counters. Wow, man. Dusty whipped to the ropes. A little double team coming here. Drop toe hold and an elbow across the back as Greg Valentine finally takes over for his team again, but he is in bad shape. Dusty Rhodes whipped to the corners, counters, and finds his way out. Valentine with a kick to the midsection. Dusty whipped to the opposing team's corner again. A clothesline, make sure he doesn't go anywhere. All right, well, gotta admit, Valentine and Zbyszko, they might be taking a beating, but they are working well as a team. That is damn sure. Here's an armbar to Dusty Rhodes from Greg the Hammer Valentine. Work fast coming up on 3/4 of this match done. And still no sign of a pin or a tap out. Greg Valentine releasing the hold. And despite being a mess, he is in control of things right here. Dusty Rhodes counters with a kick to the midsection. Has him up for the military press. Valentine quickly counters, gets a hold on Dusty, has him up and drops him down. Back suplex. Greg Valentine. Postal work on the head and neck area of the American Dream. Slams his head down. Gets a hold on him, rounds him back up pretty quick, gets him into a dragon sleeper. Has him up, there's a knee breaker. From Valentine to Dusty. Valentine backs off, turns it over to Larry Zbyszko. It's clearly the fresher of the two men. Dusty Rhodes rounded up by Zbyszko, countered into a back body drop. Down goes Larry Zbyszko. Dusty Rhodes gets a hold of him, drags him towards center ring. Less than 5 minutes to go. There's an elbow across the chest from the American Dream to Larry Zbyszko. Covers and hooks the leg here. 1, 2. But again, no dash. Larry Zbyszko finding his way out of that one. Elbow right to the head of Dusty Rhodes. Zbyszko countered by Dusty. Misses with the jab. Zbyszko rounds him up over the shoulder. Knee right into the gut. Zbyszko. Look at this. Larry Zbyszko just turning it loose. A set of repeated elbow drops to the chest and midsection of the American Dream. Man. For a total of almost 10. And there's one to grow on. Damn. Dusty Rhodes drags center ring by Larry Zbyszko. This could be it. 1, 2. It most certainly is. Valentine and Zbyszko picking up the win over the Dream and Magnum by pinfall.
The time, 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, Greg Valentine and Larry Zbyszko. They might not be fully in sync just yet, but one look at Greg Valentine will tell you the story. He and Larry Zbyszko aren't afraid to get in there and get down and dirty, which is how they pulled off this win.
Took him a fair chunk of time to get the job done, but regardless of method or execution, Valentine and Zbyszko pick up the W here, and we may be seeing more of this from them going into next year.
And that concludes the first half of tonight's Snarl. We'll be back with the second half right after the break. Stick around, it's gonna be great.